Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. In today's video, we're going to be doing an update to the Realm Bosses Guide. This is by Scalicious over on Reddit, so make sure you get over there. I'll leave a link in the description. Go check it out, upvote it, give him some support because these are really nice posts that he puts together. So basically, this one's really nice because it's covering the meta, but also the manual strategies for each boss, because there's a bit of manual strategy involved. So that's why I really wanted to go through this one. We did do one of these like a month or two ago. The meta hasn't completely been obliterated, but this one has all these extra notes about manual play, so I really wanted to go through it. So let's get into it. Okay, so before we get into like the in-depth like metas of all these bosses, if you are an early game player, new player, you know, you're not full 240, you don't have all these units, all that sort of stuff, you can get pretty well into legend ranks with mercenaries. So over on my new account, it's pretty standard that if you can get some strong mercenaries, you can do pretty well in the scoring on these bosses. For Arden, basically, you want to go and mercenary a Saurus. Level 30 signature item is going to be required for it. If you can get a mercenary 30 signature item Saurus, you're pretty much set to go. Like the standard supports that new players can throw in these teams are twins if you have them, Rowan, Rosaline, and then whatever's like, just honestly, basically anything you see in any of these bosses, you can throw in along with the Saurus and do pretty well. I'm using like Silas, Rowan, twins, and Isolde and doing perfectly fine with it. So any standard supports that you have, plus a 30 signature item Saurus. For Arden, when we go into Ice Chimera, basically you really want to create a god comp. So hopefully you've picked up an Aziz from the shop. And then you can throw him in there with twins if you have them. Rosaline's really handy for new players in this one, just because you're getting a lot more cycling. But Rosaline, Rowan, twins, Aziz, basically this comp is the one you want to build. This one over here, if you can. Once again, mercenarying the level 30 signature item Saurus. But once again, if you don't have like the twins, put like a Rain, or if you got a Mahira, anything with energy regeneration or anything like that should be fine in the final slot to get you a decent score. We're not talking about like destroying the world, we're talking about decent scores. Moving on to this one, for the Grotesque Mage, similarly, I just hire out, I got to legend rank in this one by hiring out a Saurus, and I was using like my Isolde, my Silas, stuff like that. Worked perfectly fine for me. So this one, again, you can get away with Saurus, but you can get basically any strong damage dealer, and for early game, you'll do pretty well. The Burning Brute, this one, you're gonna pretty much, like, I still like Saurus for this one. Obviously, this one shows a completely stacked Lucretia, which I haven't tested personally. I always just go for that Saurus and then throw it in with the standard supports. And then for Kayn, you're going to want to try and pick up a really strong support Taylene, because you want her to die and keep coming back. And that's going to be the key to that one. And then the Namora, you're going to want a mercenary, a really strong Chimera. And like I said, just based off those mercenaries, the Ice Chimera being the only one with the little tech that you've got to have a whatchamacallit in your team, and Aziz. Besides that, mercenaries can carry her pretty well in the early game. So just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, for these metas, and this is what I really like, these notes. So when we look here, FN means furniture, required. When they're in orange, it means that's what's requirement. For the sake of all of these, I'd say Saurus requires 30 signature item. It's just, it would have been plastered all over the place too much. So on the Unhinged, manual control for meta A, Mortis ult, then Saurus ult, then Grizzle, Warwick, Mortis, twins ult at the same time, meaning you just press auto, and then Saurus ult, repeat, Grez, Warwick, Mortis, twins ult, same time. You get the gist. I'm reading what it says. Follow that order and you're pretty much set. And this is what I love about these posts that people put together. Like, I didn't actually know that this is the rotation you want to go for it. Obviously, because I don't have a Mortis, so, you know, that's the thing. With the other comps, I'm assuming you can just leave them on full auto and it should go pretty well. But nice little play there. This one, okay, so the Ice Chimera people get real deep into with strategy, which is really cool. So this one, manual control for meta A. So this is the first team. Don't use Aziz's ult until 0042. Block Chimera's Ice Ball with Grizzle and Warwick's ult. Ult Aziz at 42, 28, 18 to reduce damage received. And then ult Warwick at 30, 20, 10 to avoid the shockwave. This is ridiculous. Like, the shockwave is when Chimera does that like big push forward and it like knocks everyone back a little bit. I think it knocks them back anyway. But using Warwick's ult to make him go behind obviously pushes that the other way. I didn't even know this. Chimera, I'm the guy who goes in there, goes, God comp, full auto, let's see how we do. Cool beans, we got into diamond, that's good enough for me. So really interesting how you can do this, but that does require that Warwick. So a lot of people, this team, like I said on the right, is going to be your go-to and pretty much just put it on auto and just watch it go. But you can use those as his ults, I guess, with this one. At those certain intervals, you should be fine with the Rosaline. Just having Rosaline in that team, you should be fine with getting enough ults to keep her locked out like that. Next up, Grotesque Mage. So this one's really, really interesting to me. So we have the interchangeable in meta B for the Stitchy and the Rain. Has the manual for all of them. And Grotesque Mage is probably the newest one, so the one people might have the most trouble with at the moment. So I love, like, this is just so in depth. So Twins, so the first team, this is the Warwick Grizzle team, which not a lot of people have, I don't think. Twins ult at 59, and then put it on auto. No, what is it? Aioli, Grizzle, Twins, Silas ult at 29, and then auto after that. So the auto with this one, because once you get to the 5 eyes, then you're just putting an auto on auto, accepting that he's going to retreat, but trying to do as much damage before that ends. So the Grotesque Mage, all of these teams do involve the Grizzle. This one has the Cecilia and stuff like that. These are some, like I said, some whack teams. But if you're struggling, you don't have these units built, just go in with the, like I said, a 36 drum Saurus, something like that. Try and have some twins, some sustain, and just go ham. Just experiment. The Grotesque Mage is hard to say. Like, this is like min-maxi, but every account's going to be different. Play around with like alt orders and stuff like that. Just use your 5 attempts, play around with it, refresh if you want for 50 diamonds, and really just mix it up. But pick up the best mercenary you can and go nuts. This one's hard to say, you know, like this is the best team for your account. It's one of those ones where it's sort of like, you just got to play around with it. Moving on to the Burning Brute. Just go ahead and put it on auto. Nice cruisy one. Look forward to the Burning Brute and just hopefully just shred it through. So I use Mahira in mine. I don't have a Mortis. I don't have the Grizzle built. I use Cecilia. So I use basically what I use on mine. And I think I sometimes get into Legend, sometimes get into Diamond. I use Twins Mahirasaurus, but then I use Rowan and Cecilia. So sort of a combo of two to make it work. Cecilia for the damage reduction because he deals so much damage. Mahira for the haste. Obviously Twins for the haste. And then Saurus for the main damage and Rowan because he's Rowan. Moving on from that, Kane. So this one was interesting to me with the Kane. And obviously Taylene is a big part of this one. I was really interested to see this cost-efficient one with the Belinda and Saurus. So I'm assuming, I'm not sure who you want to die first in the Belinda Saurus comp. I'm tipping it's Belinda. You want to go in there, hold off on Saurus's ult with Belinda to make her deal more damage first, get her executed first, then go full auto, go ham, then Saurus dies next, and then Rosaline keeps throwing cups and she'll die third, and then it'll be done. But obviously Taylene's the good one in here. I just about lost my voice because she does come back to life after she gets murdered. So manual control tips: if Grizzle dies at 45, man, I'll let you guys read it. If you're into building the Grizzle, I'll let you guys go ham on that. Like I said, for me, I don't think everyone's got the Grizzle and Warwick built. If you do, you're pretty far in and you don't need me anyway. So let's move on from that. Like I said, Grizzle and Warwick, I just can't bring myself to build them even though I know it's boss meta. They're not fun enough for me. Not fun enough in other places. Anyway, moving on from that, currently Chimera with Warden of Arcane deals the most damage. So that's pretty much the one thing to note is if you don't have that beefed up Estrilda, chuck Mortis in, should be fine. And this is pretty much the team I normally use. The Estrilda is sort of a tech pick. But the one thing is that the Warden of Arcane, it deals the most damage. If not, Windbinder. If you don't have that yet, go Blade. Pretty simple on the demonic entity. Now you can manual this. I've seen people try to like time and manual it. I just find it completely tedious trying to time the manuals on this one, so I just put it on full auto. But you can do it so that you don't overlap Chimera at a bad time. You want it to be overlapping when there's a full field. So up to you, but yeah, just wanted to cover that. Not a bad post. Go over there on Reddit. Like I said, it'll be linked in the description. I just like covering these updates in case you guys are looking for some ideas. I know that these teams don't exactly apply to everyone, but it can give you some ideas in what you want to do. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I'll look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.